Hey guys, Nicholai here, back at you with another video. This time, I'm just going to answer a question, and I'm going to post this to this person, so this isn't really meant for YouTube, but I'm going to post it on YouTube anyways, because content is content, as they say, right? No, I'm just kidding, guys. Forgive me for that. Um, here, my voice is just crackly today, holy crap. Um, so here we are with Toneski. I don't know who this is actually at all. Don't follow them. They don't follow me. But it showed up on my timeline, so I'm going to answer. Is it grace if it depends on our cooperation? And she's asking this from a reformed perspective. Christ is King. Love all that. Great. Good on you, Toneski. I hope that you listen to this video and take it with grace, for lack of a better term, and hope you understand this is not me trying to get a lot of people to swarm you or to answer you. This is just me answering. Now, I answered yes to this question. Is it grace if it depends on our cooperation? And yes, it still absolutely is grace. God's grace is an empowering gift that enables our cooperation. Enables our cooperation. We are not equal partners in contributing to it. So that's always one thing that people misunderstand. They think it's like a 50-50 relationship. We don't really try and explain what the percentages are. One that's too mathematical and that's too arbitrary, and God's not an algorithm. Um, uh, it's not us contributing our own independent work. It's us synchronizing our will with it. We are patients responding to a doctor's healing treatment. If we refuse the doctor's medicinal expertise and dismiss his recommendations, his therapeutic treatment, his, the healing methods that he's giving, then it's us willingly with our free will rejecting that grace, right? Rejecting that medicinal, rejecting that salvific medicinal medicine that's going to save us, right? But our yes itself is in response to his prior initiating of grace. So it's kind of in the same principle. God enables us all to breathe, right? But it's our choice to smoke and damage the lungs that give us the ability to breathe, right? So here's the core kind of points I would argue. Grace is not just a legal pardon, but it's healing, right? The Reformed view often sees grace primarily as a legal declaration of not guilty, right? It's kind of like this atonement idea, right? And we're not going to get into the atonement because that gets into way deeper theology. Now, if you want to, I can respond to any questions you have. I'll make a video on it and I'll post it for you. You can even rattle off 4 or 5 questions. I'll still make a video on it. It'll be a longer one, but I'll still answer it. So I'll give you a couple scriptures that kind of support our position on this. 1 Corinthians 15:10 says, "But by the grace of God am I what I am, and his grace towards me was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than they all, yet not I, but the grace of God which was in me." So St. Paul is clearly talking about laboring, which requires cooperation. But he immediately attributes the very ability to labor due to God's grace. So it's still God's grace that is working there. His work is synergistic with divine power and human will. Philippians 2:12-13, "Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as my..." I always get stumbled up with some of the funkier language. "Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And for it is God who works in you both to will and to do in his good pleasure." This is a perfect synergy verse, okay? Work out is undeniable. Work out. Figure out your salvation. But the power to will and act comes from God who works in you. So without God's divinizing grace, it doesn't go to anyone. Now this begs the question, who has grace? Well, God reaches his grace out to all of mankind. It's our choice to respond to it. But when Christ incarnated, his very incarnation itself began the healing process of the human to the divine. enabling this, right? So, from the beginning to the end, God invites human persons into a relationship of cooperative freedom, not passive reception. From the very beginning. In Matthew 9:20, Jesus says, "Your faith has made you well." Okay? He didn't say, "My power has made you well," without your participation, right? He says, "Your faith." And faith is not some sort of just um, passive thing. It's an active thing. You can't be faithful to your spouse passively. You show faithfulness to your spouse actively. If I'm just passive to my spouse's love and faith to me, then it's not reciprocated. And my wife is going to feel like I hate her, right? We'll go to Luke 1:38. The guardian angel, the archangel Gabriel announces God's will, and Mary responds, "Behold, the maidservant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." Again, synergy. She responded with yes. St. John Chrysostom also mentions things like this. He talks about how God never compels, but only proposes his gifts to men. If you refuse, he does not force you. Um, you know, 1 John 4:19 says, "We love him because he first loved us." We love him. Love is an active thing. It's not a passive thing. So, to summarize, is it grace if it depends on your cooperation? The simple answer is yes. Because our cooperation itself is a gift of God, a gift of grace, it's God working in us, enabling our will and our actions so that we can freely and actively receive the salvation he offers. But we can also refuse. It is not God doing 50% and us doing 50%. It's God offering 100% of his power and of us offering 100% of our receptive will. The will being a work. A mystery of love called synergy. This is scripturally grounded, as I demonstrate, clearly patristic. I mean, the early church fathers clearly back up all of these positions, and addresses the heart of reformed concerns about human merit, while upholding Orthodox truth when it comes to human freedom and participation. So I hope this helpful. Tonski. Have a wonderful day.